let's talk about Square Enix, Squeenix.
Oh my god.
Thoughts,
Oh boy.
prayers.
Final Fantasy.
I've actually
Final-
never played a Final Fantasy game ever, but Jose talks about it enough that I feel like I have, and I will be playing this remake because Cloud looks really hot, and everyone looks really hot. Sephiroth, how do you Sephiroth?
You got it.
Yes.
Cloud looks like Dante.
So does and then Tifa looks so pretty.
They kept
I would
the red
die
eyes,
for
that's
her,
all that matters.
and I will.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, it looks like really gorgeous and well made, and I know that it's been in production for ever.
Yeah.
So I'm positive that it's gonna be good. Like Square Enix does really great work. So
What were your thoughts on Final Fantasy 15? It's an older game. Just curious.
I know nothing about it. All
That's
I know is
okay.
that Cloud.
Did
is
you play
great,
it?
and he's not in it.
I played through Final Fantasy 15. My experience with the Final Fantasy games is usually the older ones, but I did play through 15, and I enjoyed
too.
15.
Yeah.
I think actually, 15's strength obviously was in like how interesting the characters were. I don't want to say relatable or anything, but how
What are you talking about? You're talking about four, like, basically royal people
four royal people in
Who go
black
on a-
leather jackets.
who go on a road trip in the desert.
The boy band brigade. No, the 15 was interesting because I liked a lot of the more hack and slash stuff that they developed in 13 on, or no, not 13 on, like 12 on kind of. But it's just, I have qualms about it with Final Fantasy 7, but I'll get onto that if anybody else wants to comment first.
I think Final Fantasy 7 looks like they're changing it to make it similar to 15. That's why I was asking about it. The one thing I do like is that they're giving people the option, and it looks like a more fleshed out version of the like strategic aspect of the game from 15, where you can pause and plan things.
I like that.
Yeah. I think in newer games, I prefer faster paced combat. I do love stuff like Octopath Traveler, which I have on the Switch. It's being put on Steam.
Unfortunately.
I mean, it happens. I do like games like that, but I think games like that art style, pixel art, or the retro style, it benefits from that type of gameplay. But games that look photorealistic, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me to be like, okay, cool. Now click A and he will attack. Now he attacks. I don't know. It's slow to me.
I think because you have those games like Dragon Quest where they have like you can have it interchangeably, so it's like you can do the old school, or you can do the super new school.
Yeah.
My thing with 7 is I think there are a couple RPG things that could be added or fixed with it. Like I know they have the pause system, which is not like a bullet time, but it's a thing they did with 15. And I do like parts of that, but from someone who played through the original game, if that's a thing where people are still moving and there's still actions going on, I can think of a couple bosses where that's going to be an interesting experience, especially if you're like kind of a person who hunts down through the game. But no, it's like the music looks good, the character designs look great, the art looks fantastic. It's just my main problem is it's the same trailer, it's the same footage from 2 years ago.
The gameplay was different.
A little bit.
Yeah. I liked that they showed more gameplay. I mean, like, beside Final Fantasy VII, the Avengers game, like...
That's a thing.
And like I
That
said,
exists.
apparently other people got to see gameplay, but nobody got to see gameplay, so I have no thoughts on it until I see gameplay.
I'm just switching it real quick.
You're
But,
good.
The Legend of Mana was a game that really stuck out to me for some reason in the conference. Or I'm not sure if I watched the direct, and it was in the direct for like Nintendo, which is not Square Enix, but
Yeah.
apparently it's by Square Enix.
Wait, Mana? Wait, is
Yeah.
that...
Mana games.
Yeah.
Secret.
I
style.
don't-
Yeah,
I've never
and they're
heard of
putting
it
they put
before
all the
this,
chronicles on the Switch.
But it looks beautiful. That's all I have to say. It just looks gorgeous. Good art is like
Good
the
art.
weight of my heart.
Yeah.
So with games especially, and just like really nice looking characters that have really cool personalities. Story-based games are really my thing.
Yeah.
But that looks cool.
Well, I mean, you brought up the mana thing, which is big. Beside that, like Dragon Quest Outriders, which just looks like almost a Doom knockoff from that trailer. And then Dragon Quest Builders 2, it's like, yay, more Minecraft Dragon Quest. But it looks like there's more to the second one, so we'll see.
I will say the one super shining one. Hey, we got Final Fantasy Tactics back, right?
Oh yeah.
We got it as a mobile game, but I will say, if people aren't like kind of skeptical about mobile games, for all the faults that are inherent there, the Final Fantasy Exvius, the one that they mentioned in their thing, and then they followed it up with that new one that's like the mobile tactics game. That's actually a full game. It just happens to be mobile. Mm-hmm. So it's like that's good on Square Enix for doing that. And if the one is called War of the Visions, which is like the new tactics one, if it's anything like that, go for it.
Yeah. Beside that, Square Enix was Square Enix. Like, I didn't expect much more from them. I think Nintendo, and we've talked about it briefly sort of a couple times, I think Nintendo had a great Direct, and the Treehouse was good. What do you guys think?
I think Nintendo usually does pretty well. Their Directs are usually pretty well met. Luigi was the first thing that stuck out to me. So I mean, Luigi's Mansion looks good. It looks fun. It has a couple of cool new mechanics. Mm-hmm. I just am still on Luigi.
Did you watch the Treehouse and like watch any of the multiplayer gameplay?
I did not watch the Treehouse.
It looks really good.
It looks really smooth.
Yeah.
It looks promising. I can go like watch the Treehouse afterwards. But I mean, I expected it to be probably as smooth as it was. The gameplay that they happened to show in the Direct did look good. I just think it's a really unfortunate name.
Luigi? Oh yeah, I can agree with that too.
I mean, I don't know what else they could have like named him as.
It was clever, but unfortunate. I don't know how they did that.
Also, like, no shade to Nintendo. They could have picked a different animation or a different way for you to release Luigi, because it legitimately does look like you like poop him out. Like you're.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, you think?
Freaks.
Whoa. What else? The gameplay looks great. They showed this interesting game type in the Treehouse, where it was 4 people, and your goal is to complete floors and make your way up to a top floor. I think the addition of multiplayer in a game that did well as a single player game in a creative way is cool. I like what they're doing there.
It's.
I wasn't saying.
You're good. Go for it.
Nintendo, so my overall ranking for this year's E3 was kind of low. I wasn't the biggest fan of it for a bunch of reasons, but Nintendo kept it from being like really, really bad in my eyes, just because this is why I think Microsoft did really well last year, because it was like game after game after game, and they showed at least a little something to go with each one of them, and that's what Nintendo did really well this year, because they had like there was like New Horizons, which sure it's delayed, but you know there's what's that Miyamoto quote? A delayed game is eventually good, but a rush game is forever bad.
Yeah, and it's so I stand by that too. And New Horizons, the Animal Crossing game, looks so good. Like, I want my hands on it now. I'm sad we have to wait until 2020, but I'm happy because it looks like it's going to be a great game. And I agree with that statement. Like, and they apologized too. That's one thing that's weirdly nice. Like, most developers just say, "Cool, it's being released at this date now," and that's it. But they were like, "We're so sorry. We just want to make a great game." And you're like, "Okay, Nintendo."
I know. They really care, but also, you know, I hope so. I hope they really care.
Yeah.
Developers and artists don't get paid enough as it is, So like, please take your time.
Yes.
Don't fall into like the rush job where like sometimes like with the whole thing with like Red Dead 2, like it came out okay, but there's like bugs and people were working 100-hour work weeks. So like
That's insane.
I want to not do that. I will wait years as long as I know that the people working on it are paid and well rested and it is a solid game.
I can go into a whole rant about like the culture that just like supports working like 80-hour weeks and stuff, but I'm not gonna do that.
Well,
but,
yeah, let's
no.
Did you see the shade that? Not the shade, but did you see
Shade?
the thing that happened? Yeah, legit. So obviously Nintendo announced the delay for New Horizons.
Yeah.
And they were asked about it separately from the Direct, and they said, well, we don't want our developers to prioritize like work over actually being with their family.
I saw that.
And because of the delay and like that interview, they dropped like an insane amount of money in the stock market. Like it just
because
it stinks
people are
that
just like, yeah, you should prioritize like working and like hurt like.
It's awful.
Well,
but good on Nintendo, legitimately.
I will say, I think if I remember right, it was mainly the Japanese stock market, and it's just like that's a big thing. But also, they dropped like $5 worth. It was a huge drop.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Which it translates to like millions.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So
of
they
money.
lost money from the Direct?
Yes, they did.
Like, even with everything else, they still lost an aggregate amount.
I'm sure they're bouncing back.
Yeah.
Like fast.
But like who? Is just I don't understand the stock market. I know like you're a stock person, market people.
It's also just like specifically if you look, because I don't remember how bad it was in the American market, but like in the Japanese sense, yeah, that's definitely where they got the hardest hit. Just
that makes me so angry that like you get punished for basically like taking care of your employees.
Yeah, that's a whole other world when it comes to like how people work and how people perceive it. It's just like
I know like Elon Musk was like, yeah, we should be working 80-hour weeks a day. You know what I mean?
Let's not jump into it. Let's talk about video games.
Okay,
that's a whole other podcast.
Maybe we tackle that later. If there's passion about it, maybe we can talk about it in a different podcast. Pokemon.
A lot of people were kind of upset that it looked a lot like Breath of the Wild, but with like less sharp graphics. But like, I mean, one, it's still in development, and two, like I think being able to kind of wander around and do your own thing. Like, obviously, it was a successful enough formula in Breath of the Wild. I think it's an interesting thing to explore in a game like Pokemon, just going around and kind of doing your own thing and living life as a trainer instead of just like go here, go there. Oh, there's a Pokemon in the grass, which everyone loves. That's why Pokemon got as big as it did. But I think it's interesting trying something new, and if one thing, did a game well in the past, try it.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's funny that you bring up Breath of the Wild. Do you guys remember watching the first Breath of the Wild trailer? Yeah. Not even the trailer, the first gameplay that came out?
Yeah.
Like before the treehouse where everybody could play on the Great Plateau. It was like milky and not clear at all. Like it looked bad.
I remember people had like comparisons of like the Wind Waker HD next to it or something. It was that or like Twilight Princess. It was one of the HD ones, and it was just like I remember a bunch of people were just kind of critically panning it, and they just like, what is this? You guys have been in the works for like
how many
5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, people big mad, but like chill. They're still working on it.
Yeah, I think I'm excited for it genuinely.
Yeah.
I think they took what was good from Let's Go and they took what was good from Breath of the Wild, and they're making an interesting game. What do you guys think of the new mechanics, Dynamaxian raids, all that jazz?
I don't know how I feel about Dynamax. I think it's funny. I don't know what good it does in world. I feel like that would be awful in world, just from like a narrative standpoint. But like, I don't know. I would have to like play it and see how it goes. But I feel like right now it's the bottom of the list of things I'm excited for. I think.
One small thing before we go on to like the actual mechanic stuff. Artists can take inspiration from other things, and just because Nintendo made Breath of the Wild and that Pokemon is now moderately open world doesn't mean it's a Breath of the Wild clone.
Oh yeah, totally agree.
But no, going on to like the mechanics and stuff, I know there's definitely going to be like an in canon kind of description of why it works, but
why Dynamaxing works.
Yeah, because it's like I know that they base it off of the UK, and it's like like team battling is not a big thing that you can really do in Pokemon. So if you're gonna be if all of like the gyms are like soccer stadiums, it's like I'd imagine there'd be something as opposed to just having a bunch of monitors with like one person in the center of the field and an occasional explosion or two.
Yeah,
that already happens in regular soccer.
I completely forgot. Like, you guys were talking about Dynamax, and I was like, "What's that?" And then I'm like, "Oh, when they get
Big
huge."
boy.
Yeah.
That's so funny to me. I don't know why it's so funny, but it just really is.
It is.
It's hilarious. They're so small and so cute, but then now they're big.
I would use it entirely for humor value. Like,
I
I
know.
would take the tiniest thing I can.
The corgi Pokemon.
I will.
I just want a
a
really
giant
big-
corgi.
gigantic cutie fly.
There's Flabebe, which is like 0.03 grams or something, and it's just like it's like an inch tall, and then you just have a giant flower.
I would love that.
I want it. That'll be terrifying for like a giant coffin. Imagine.
Oh god.
But
oh my god, a giant coffin. People everywhere around it would die. Like
Exactly.
No, that's the other thing is like because I remember people asking, it's like, is everything based on size, like how they are in the model, or is there like a set size to Dynamax? Because I'm of the mindset that someone within like a day or so, because I think Larvitar and that whole chain is in the game. There's definitely going to be somebody who gets a Tyranitar, names it Godzilla, Gojira, whatever, and then Dynamaxes it, and then just gets a photo of it and puts it on Twitter. I'm going to bet within a day.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if stuff. I mean, in meme culture in general, like stuff like that happens constantly.
You also got those mechanics where everyone's upset because no national decks and no Mega Evolution.
oh yeah.
Honestly, so in my opinion, I think Dynamax is is their way around having to create a Mega Evolution for every Pokemon. Like they're trying to make every Pokemon viable, and like competitively, and I think that's what they're doing with Dynamax. What else?
Breath of the Wild
Breath of the Wild
2.
2.
Oh yes. Oh, Breath of the Wild 2.
Zelda.
Yes.
Gorgeous. That's like all I have to say for like judging video games. I'm just like, the characters are gorgeous. Their character design is amazing, and yes,
They look great.
she
Yeah.
has short hair. And I've seen so many really cute comics on Twitter about like why her hair got cut. Like I saw one where it's just like she was making food and she caught her hair on fire on accident, and Link cut her hair with a sword, and then she was sad about it, and then now she has short hair and she likes it, and it's just like,
She's very clearly just Rapunzel. I don't know what you're talking
It's
about. She has
great.
she has
That's-
magic hair and it's been cut. No, I'm just
that's
kidding.
all I have to say.
I think Link is gonna lose his hand.
Oh, I think he'll lose his hand, or it'll have to do like I don't know. I'm excited because they have to reset you in some way. To like you have to either become worthy to use the Master Sword again, or I don't know, because all the effort everybody went through and did like 100 shrines, because I did. Like they have to come up with a way for you to be like, this is why you have 3 hearts again, and this is why you don't have the Master Sword. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
That would be cool if he lost his hand, or if he got a weird ability or something.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen like the original Breath of the Wild fan art? Or
Yes.
Not fan art, the original concept art for like the first game.
Mm-hmm.
He has a prosthetic.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like convinced. And then like the trailer, they had him doing some kind of magic with his hand, and
I'll probably put it in. This will be on top of video, so I'll toss the concept art right here.
yeah. Cool. But yeah, so it looks interesting, and I wonder what I want to know what they're gonna do with that, because it looks like they kind of make it like versatile,
Mm-hmm.
and that's an interesting thing to play with, and it's especially kind of interesting to play with like what people would normally consider to be a disability, and kind of like
Ooh.
Furiosa-ing it.
That's kind of cool. I didn't even think about it that way. I just hope like full-fledged dungeons come back.
Mhm.
I know we had the 4 beasts, but like it's so hard. Going back to Ocarina of Time is one of my favorite games of all time, and going through the first 3 dungeons, and you as a kid and being like, this game is so amazing, and then you thinking that's like it when you're getting the Master Sword, and then there's more dungeons. It feels good to go through and solve puzzles like that. The shrines were cool, and I could see them doing more stuff with them if they wanted to, but I think full-fledged dungeons and like special items for dungeons, which could be used with a prosthetic arm or whatever, like Sekiro style, would be a cool mechanic.
I saw from the 2 seconds of it, it looks to me like they're going to do like a Sekiro thing where it becomes like a multi-tool, or like that's where his abilities are channeled now.
Yeah.
Or if the weird backwards playing music and the fact that it's latched onto what looks like Ganon is any indication, it's probably like some kind of corruption, going up his arm. We'll see. I mean, I know it's been said a lot already, but I'm very much in the mindset. I'm getting very serious Majora's Mask vibes from this.
Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess.
Direct sequel, super dark, kind of creepy atmosphere, and the fact that there's if y'all have played Breath of the Wild, then you know it's like there's a couple things about it that almost like lend itself to a direct sequel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the developers came forward and said that the plan was for this to be a DLC, but they had too many ideas, so it's a sequel now, which I'm 100% okay with.
That's how Majora's Mask was too.
Yeah, exactly. Fingers crossed for a good game. I'm excited. Really quick, small things that Nintendo had that people will probably care about. Mario Maker 2. I didn't play the first one, but apparently a lot of people liked it. More Fire Emblem stuff. Apparently, like all the Resident Evils. Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. Yay.
Eggman's nipples. That's all I have to say about that one.
Eggman's nipples?
You can see his nipples.
Okay. I'm glad we have that soundbite now of both of us just saying Eggman's nipples.
Use it how you wish.
Cool. I think we've covered Nintendo. Is there any other little game from any other of the conferences you want to talk about?
One more thing for Nintendo. Banjo.
Oh yeah, Banjo and Smash. How did I not say that? Banjo and Smash and Dragon Quest and Smash. Yeah.
Hero.
Yeah, the heroes apparently.
They're like alt skins.
Yeah.
For like how the Bowser kids are, like how the Koopa kids are.
Yeah. Did you guys have anything else from Devolver Digital or any of the other things?
I watched the PC gaming conference. There was a lot that was interesting, but the 2 that stuck with me the most was the Sinking City, which is kind of Lovecraftian. It looks really interesting. It looks really graphically good, especially for what you would think of for like an indie game. So that was really interesting. And then my number 1 game of E3 is Skatebird.
Skatebird?
Yes. You play as a bird and you ride on little toy roller skates around the room, and you can wear headphones.
Interesting.
It's just like it's like a really chill kind of lo-fi game, but with little tiny birds, and I'm excited.
Cool. I'm into it. How about you? Anything else? Any other conferences that stuck out to you?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think, but
like I said, for me, Nintendo kind of was the highlight of this one by
I
leaps
could agree.
and bounds. What, we good?
I think we can wrap up. What was you gave your game of E3. What was your game of E3? If you had one.
It's a big decision.
That is hard.
Big decision. Decision. Honestly, Final Fantasy VII Remake, because I've always wanted to get into it, and now that it just looks too good to not play it.
Yeah.
Also, I guess Sword and Shield, but I already knew about that, so.
Yeah. I could agree. How about you?
Sorry, go the Nintendo stuff. So it's a lot of the games looked interesting. So there was Astral Chain. There was the Panzer Dragoon. I don't know if it's a reboot or a remake or even a direct sequel. I don't know, but that looks interesting. I'm glad they put all the Mana games on. Those games look fantastic. Game of the conference, like I said, I mean, Nintendo saved it for me. I think I'll say the most interesting game I had was Ghostwire. that just seemed to have the most like
Yeah.
immediate air of mystery around it. I'd seen stuff for the Singing City. I saw the announcement trailer for it like a day or two after it came out, and that looked amazing. But I think the game for me that's just like I want to see it do well is probably Doom Eternal. No, I'll probably say Doom
Oh yeah,
Eternal.
we didn't even talk about Doom Eternal, and Doom had the like classic E3 building placement too. Doom Eternal looks great. The modern Dooms have just been incredible when it comes to movement, how fast paced they are, how gruesome they are. They're so effective. Well, you bringing that up now makes me question my decision.
We'll talk about it afterward.
Well, yeah, we can talk about it after, I guess. Like you said, Pokemon Sword and Shield people knew about, so I don't know if that's my like game of E3 because I was already excited about it. I didn't need E3 to be more excited about it. The thing I'm most excited about is probably the next Legend of Zelda, but it's the thing we know least about when it comes to stuff we saw. Probably Animal Crossing, actually. It's super cute, and I miss New Leaf, so I'm excited for this one. I think that's about it on E3. Because you guys are all in gaming, are there any cool events or things that people can go to soon or experience soon? The gaming committee.
Yes. So we have meetings every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Beyond that, until the 7th of July, or the last day is the 7th of July, we have our Sunday theater gaming at 9:30 p.m. in the main theater. Coming up, our next event should be Tabletop Tuesday and Thursday Throwdown. No, our very next event is Final Friday.
That's true. It's
Final Friday.
June 28th.
Yeah,
That's Friday.
Right.
Yeah, at 6 p.m. in the Cyber Cafe. So we're going to have Rock Band. We're going to have Just Dance. Possibly VR. Hopefully VR. Pretty sure we're going to have VR.
Pretty sure.
And just like hundreds of games that you can check out. And we're going to have buttons. So that's your favorite reason to go to our events, right? Yeah.
Yes. The number one thing coming up come Summer Sea is our big Pokemon event, where we're celebrating the showing of Pokemon Detective Pikachu over in the main theater. So July 27th, we will be having our Pokemon gaming night. So if people want to come out, if they're excited for all the Pokemon stuff announced at E3, come out to that. That's our big Pokemon celebration.
Heck
Boom.
yeah. We're also going to have, like, there at the Pokemon night, we're going to have Sword and Shield buttons. So
Oh, that's cool.
Pick your starter, basically.
Amazing.
Choose your team.
So most of this will be linked in the description, along with movies coming up in the building. Keep an eye out. And thanks for listening if you made it all the way to the end. Cool. Have a good one, guys.
See y'all later.
Bye.